It was 1974, and I graduated high school in 72. Wanted to join then, follow my uncles, my father, my grandfathers, but in the state of Illinois, you had to have both parents' signatures. And my mom said no because Vietnam was going on. So I had to wait until I turned of age, and then I signed myself up. Yeah, it wasn't female. Females weren't really known to go at that time. One, because usually gave a female a bad name, like they were looking for a husband or something. But also Vietnam was still going on, and it was winding down, but it still was going on. So it wasn't really popular. We had, when I first went, of course, everything was all female drill sergeants, all female cadre. Everything that we had was all females. When I went through training, and my first assignment was Korea. And you get there and you're living in Quonset huts and the all-female barracks and stuff. But it was quite a change. I wanted the travel and the education that they offered, and I wanted an opportunity to do something with my life. Where I grew up, there really wasn't much chance for advancement. The U.S. Army, because I wanted to go Air Force first, and I was chunky. They told me I had to lose so much weight. And when I went to the Army, I didn't have to lose quite as much, so there I am. Data-telecommunications, I was a comm center specialist for communication, and then I went for executive admin, and then I was a chaplain assistant. Ooh, the worst part was the exercise. That was very, very hard, very hard. But the best part was the camaraderie that you had. Everyone had everyone's back. We didn't care where you came from, what rank you were, anything. We just all bonded together. Sure, that was one of the highlights. I went from an E1 to an E7 when I retired. And every time you got a promotion, it was just, you were ecstatic, thinking I really did something well here. And so yes, I was very, very happy. I absolutely loved the travel. I was one that enjoyed going and meeting. We did a lot of flying to foreign countries and interacting with the people there. I really enjoyed that. I was in Germany for 6 years, in Panama Canal Zone for 3 years, and then I was in Seoul, Korea, and Busan, Korea. I was in the 86 Combat Support, which is right here, 86 Combat Support Hospital, and was in one of the first female firing squads that the Army had at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. This one. It was February 20th, 1976. That was taken at Fort Campbell. We used to go to services when people had funeral services. We were the firing squad that was going to the services. And I was also in Panama. They had a Noriega thing that had happened, and I was there right after Noriega was captured. We sponsored orphanages when I was in Panama and when I was in Korea. And I have some photos here of where, this is where we went to one of the orphanages, and this was down by Myeongdong area. And that's the bridge. You had to cross a bridge there in order to get to where the cemeteries were, the orphanages, pardon me. And when I was over in Panama, George and Sarah Mendez, we used to go frequently with them to the cemeteries and to the orphanages and to all this stuff to learn the culture and customs of the country, because we were very interested in Panama. And they actually adopted a son from the orphanage that we frequented. Yes, I was at Fort Rucker, Alabama. And they had a ceremony, of course. They had it was very, to me, it was kind of bittersweet. One, you were starting a new career, and two, you were ending something that you truly admired. For 21 and a half years I was in. You go home and you're happy that now you have it, but sadness, because you're no longer getting up and putting on that uniform and having that social interaction that you had with all your fellow soldiers. Very positively. They were thankful that I was back. There was always an article in the newspaper about about me. My mother worked at the newspaper for a short period of time, so she made sure that everything was published, whether it was a promotion, a child, a marriage, whatever. But the community I grew up in was very, very proud.
Awesome.
And my name's on a memorial in our little town that I grew up in,
Hey.
and on a statue thing that they have for the people that had actually served.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
Yes, we have the 143rd Signal Reunion, which is the unit from Frankfurt, Germany. Elvis was in the same division that we were in, but yes, we have a reunion. Join. You will never have such a close camaraderie. You can have relationships that you'll build for life, and we're in a very small percentage of people in the U.S. that join the military. So it's quite an experience, and when you meet one, to me it's amazing. It's very amazing, the bonds and the friendships that you build throughout.
There's something that...
Couple of funny things that you mentioned. Funny, I remember we went on a C-130 flying, and of course they're the ones with cargo net seats, so when one person sits up or gets up or sits down, of course the seats waver on you, and you've got equipment all in the center of the aircraft, so it's not the most comfortable. But the bathroom is up a few stairs, so you have to walk up a few stairs. There's poles that you can hold on to and curtains that you can actually close. The thing of it is when you're walking up there and you've got your uniform on and you pull your pantyhose down and blah blah, the aircraft is moving, so yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge. And when we were in Panama, they had the USS Unitas, which is a Puerto Rican group. It's a vessel, U.S. vessels, that transit the canal every year, and they asked us if we wanted an opportunity to transit on one of the vessels. You wear your uniform. So we showed up at the Miraflores locks, and they pulled up this vessel and told us this is the one we were riding on, and I had a skirt on, and they threw a ladder over the side of the boat for us to climb up. It's like, here we go. Yeah. So it was just an experience. Yeah. But when we had an opportunity, they asked for volunteers of people that wanted to actually be part of this. And of course, at this point, this was 1976, there really were not a lot of females in the military. And we were still WACs because the Women's Army Corps has now disbanded. But they wanted to have this. So we auditioned for this. You had to be an expert rifleman in order to do this, and you had to have a certain poise. You had to have a certain there were certain criteria that they wanted for the people that were going to represent the United States. So I did my audition. I was one of the people that was selected, and these ladies along with me became the first all-female firing squad in the Army.
Wow. Okay.
This is a picture when I was at E6 here. This was when we were going up before promotion. And you go for the promotion board, you're in your greens, you got all your badges and stuff on. This one here is one where I was actually ready to retire at this point. And there's my E7 stripes, and so there. This is one, you can't really see me very well, but that's my mother, father, and sister there when I had gone home on leave. Let's see, October 30th, 1974.
Wow.
Okay. This is me. I guess I was eating MREs then, huh? This is at our barracks in Korea, in the WAC Shack, July of 75. My goodness. This is an award that I received. My highest award was the MSM Meritorious Service Medal when I retired. This is a Quilt of Valor. You get nominated, someone nominates you for a Quilt of Valor. You put in your application and finish all of your paperwork for that, and they will make you a Quilt of Valor if you qualify. Mm-hmm. This is a cane that was made for me. Oscar Morris made this. He's down in Florida. And of course it has the U.S. flag, my branch of service, the rank when I retired. I was Signal Corps. Third Armor. This was a spearheader now. This was when I was in Frankfurt. And again, Elvis was, you'll see the triangle on Elvis's uniforms when you see him in any movies and stuff. This is toujours Prey. This was a 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment. I was stationed in Grafenwehr, Germany, and at that time they had the spouses, they tried to get, if you were both military, they tried to get you stationed together. My permanent party didn't have a station for him because he was a cavalry scout. So I wound up down here in Bavaria with him for a uniform. Thing of it is I was the only female in uniform on Binlach. Binlach was the rock. I was the only female in uniform. The guys didn't particularly care for that because my PT uniform was different. The expectations for PT were different. I was expected to do more sit-ups and run slower. They were expected to run faster and do a lot more in the way of push-ups. So pull-ups and things like that. So yeah, they didn't particularly care for me when I first got here to Bavaria. This is for United States Army South when I was in the Panama Canal Zone. This, we did drug eradication. So we got to fly to Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, to all the places, because I worked for the general at that point. He got to travel to all the units that we had. We went mostly to Tegucigalpa, Honduras, but we had a lot of shopping experiences while we were there. Bolivia, of course, the air is so thin when you're there, you're sitting on the back of a truck. They had these little trucks that they transported us around in. And so you got the oxygen mask and you're sucking oxygen because you can't breathe. And this is a Palace Athene. Palace Athene was the signal for the Women's Army Corps when I went in. And the Women's Army Corps, of course, has been disbanded now. Well, when I went in, like I said, it wasn't really popular for females to go in the service at that time. Females really weren't as welcome during that period, and now, of course, we're all welcomed. The permanent parties that I've had, as well as the schooling and the transitions and stuff that we've had, have always been quite an experience for me. The bases that I was at, Frankfurt, Germany, now all the bases are closed. Panama, every base is closed. Vin Hill Farm Station, that's a signal warfare training base, and that's completely closed. So some of the experiences that I had and some of the great assignments that I had, people won't even get the chance to experience it any longer, which is really sad. That I was a very, very proud soldier. That I enjoyed my time in the service. Not every unit was as wonderful, but that's part of the job. It's the same thing being on the outside. I would encourage people to go. Like I said, the benefits and the camaraderie that you have are wonderful. And where else can you go and get benefits like, travel in a place where they supply you a place to live, that you live 6 years in Germany, 3 in Panama, and then over in Korea. People don't really pay your rent on the outside, and they don't give you the opportunity to do that travel. For the most part, when you see a veteran, tell them thank you. They really appreciate that, and some of them have never been told that your service was appreciated. People will tell me, they'll see me with my shirt or my hat, dog tags or something, and they'll thank me, and I'll say, was you I was protecting? I served to protect the other people out there, and I was willing to do it. So I think it's a very honorable profession, and I would encourage people to go. Yes, there were quite a few more females in there, and they were in professions that we were not allowed to go into when I first entered, because a lot of the armored positions, etc., we could not do that. But the females now that are going in are, I wouldn't say a tougher breed, but they've got more in the way of responsibilities than we had for professional, and a little more opportunity, because when the females get in a profession that's not really known for females, their chances for promotion are greater, and it's just a wonderful opportunity. A lot of the times, especially when I was over in Korea, we had Quonset huts, and the other Quonset hut was out there, and whether it's hot or cold, you didn't want to have to walk a few Quonset huts down. So, hey, you strip down that steel pot, go and wash it out in the morning. Yeah. But when I was in Germany, I was in a field unit. And during the time in the field unit, I had a kid. Made in Germany.
Yeah.
Born in Germany, made in Germany. But anyhow, anybody that's ever had a child knows that you expel milk. Well, I'm the only person that I know that sat on the side of my bunk with my helmet expelling milk because I was in the field, and you got to do what you got to do.
That's right. So interesting. Yeah.
So I mean, you adapt, you adjust, you adapt to whatever you have to do. You know, you are so welcome. It was an honor for me. It was really an honor. It's a very honorable profession, very honorable, and you get that DD 214, which I have right there, and you're proud. And I have my military ID. I should have showed that to you. My retired Army card. Very honorable. I'm a very proud American, a very proud soldier, and there you go.